Hello everyone, and welcome back to our fifth Windows Dev Chat community call. I'm Gleb, software engineer at Microsoft, and I'll be your host for today's call. This is our second interview format episode, and I'll hope you enjoy it. So, our agenda is simple. We have a guest interview with an application demo and code review, and of course, your questions at the end. Quick reminder to stay connected with our Windows Dev community, follow our social networks and watch previous episodes. Mark your calendars for upcoming events and join Discord community for after-call discussions. You can find all links in the description.
Hello.
With that said, let's get into our interview. Please welcome Dmitry. He is not super confident in his English, so we prepared most of the questions and he may read his answers. I hope everyone is okay with that. Okay, Dmitry, can you introduce yourself and give us a bit of background about you?
I'm 21 years old and I'm currently in my fourth year of studying software engineering. I have always been interested in technology and how it can improve our daily lives. When I was younger, I was fascinated by Microsoft products, especially Windows Phone. I thought they had a very unique and user-friendly design, and that's what inspired me to start learning how to create software.
Thanks for the intro. And I want to address this question to our audience. Feel free to share your background in live chat. Let's get know each other better. Okay, Dmitry, how did you start in software development?
I started programming at 15 with C Sharp, as it worked well with Windows operating system. My interest grew in building applications for different Windows devices like computers, tablets, and phones. The idea of universal Windows platform apps excited me because it allowed apps to work across all these devices. Initially, I had made simple to-do lists and weather apps. As I learned more, I tackled bigger projects like creating a voice assistant for Windows Phone, which taught me a lot about C Sharp and voice language processing. I also focused on UI design, believing that good design is crucial for a great app. I wanted my apps to be functional, user-friendly, and visually appealing.
Yeah, 15 years old and C# applications development, that's impressive. Okay, let's get closer to your current project. Why did you decide to develop a web browser?
I decided to develop a browser because I always wanted to create something that improves the way people interact with the web. My journey started in 2016 when I moved to the Universal Windows platform for Windows Runtime and began exploring new technologies. I was fascinated by the Microsoft Edge browser, which at the time was built on the Universal Windows platform and supported Cortana. I really appreciated its lightweight design as well as an integration with Cortana personal assistant. What made Edge particularly unique was its use of proprietary HTML engine, setting it apart in the browser market. However, when Microsoft Edge released it using the Chromium engine, I couldn't help but wonder why they made the shift. That when I asked myself, why not create my own browser based on HTML, improve the interface while still maintaining support for platforms like Xbox, TeamOS, HoloLens, and more? This led to the development of Gloria web browser, which I presented as the all-Ukrainian iTalent competition and received a grant from a local company in 2017 year. I initially developed the project in both WPF and Universal Windows platform, but later recognized that WPF was becoming outdated and less viable for future development. As a result, I fully transitioned to the Universal Windows platform and continued working on that version until 2021, but paused the development due to compatibility issues with the modern web standards. At that point, I shifted my focus to the other projects. In late of 2024, I decided to return to the browser project with a major rebranding.
Yeah, that's definitely an ambitious project. But what's the goal of it?
The main goal of my project was to design a browser with a simple, intuitive interface that adapts to the various Windows devices and supports multiple input methods. I aimed to create a tool that suppressed exciting options in the Microsoft Store while offering an inspiring and immersive user experience. In my view, software is well designed when it combines a well-considered UI with a reliable architecture. Therefore, it's crucial to continually improve skills, learn new technologies, and tackle complex problems.
I hope you succeed in that. What technologies did you use for developing your application?
The project was primarily written in C# with JavaScript for small scripts and XAML for the interface. To ensure compatibility with all Windows devices, I used Universal Windows Platform and WinUI App 2 as a control library. Using the MVVM design pattern with Community Toolkit accelerated UI development by separating larger data and presentation. Microsoft Extensions Dependency Injection Library is enabled DI implementation in the Universal Windows Platform project, improving code structure and reducing component coupling. For AI features, OpenAI GPT enhanced the browser interaction with complex responses, while Google's Dialogflow handled text classification, user intent detection, and natural language processing efficiently.
Yeah, that's good set of technologies. Okay, let's move to your application and code walkthrough. Please share your screen.
Now, I'm really excited to start the project demonstration. We'll begin by examining how tabs and multitasking are implemented in the browser. With site tabs, you can easily manage multiple websites at once without cluttering the main interface. This allows you to keep your workspace clean and focused. As you can see, the tabs appear on the side, allowing you to quickly and easily switch between them without losing sight of what you're doing. You can also resize the tab bar to save more working space. For those who prefer the classic view, you can easily switch to the normal view. To do this, just tap here. For quick access, there is an option to pin tabs. You can do this by right-clicking on the tab you need and then calling the pin tab command. Pinned tabs in my implementation do not represent a real open tab, but serve as a shortcut for quickly activating the tab or quickly switching in the tabs is already open. Pinned tabs are displayed on the launcher panel in the side menu or a shortcut in the classic view. Another one of the unique feature is the ability to archive tabs. This allows you to easily store away tabs you're not using right now, but might want to revisit later. This helps you keep your workspace organized and let you manage your browsing sessions more efficiently. In the aspect of tabs, I also want to draw attention to security and privacy. In the context of security, I have implemented the ability to lock tabs, thus hiding private information from other PC users, or you can also hide private information during screen sharing. This feature is implemented using Windows Hello, but there is also implementation using a password that you can set the settings in the settings. Well, thanks to Windows Hello, you can easily confirm your identity without entering long passwords, which significantly speeds up the login time. As you can see, these features work together to create a smooth and intuitive browser experience. I've aimed to create browsers that not only looks great, but also helps you stay productive, organized, and focused. It's time to see how things work under the hood. Let's take a little look at how the tab management service works. Tab Service is a service for managing browser tabs. It provides functions for adding, removing, pinning, and loading tabs and tracks changes in the tab collection. Tabs Observable Collection is designed to store open tabs in the browser. It ensures that the collection is never empty and notifies when the property changes. Now, let's explore how the session of open tabs is saved and resumed. Save tab as a sync saves the currently open tabs in the user's environment folder as a JSON, ensuring sessions preservation, while load tab async retrieves and restores the saved tabs when the application starts. What I will also like to show in the context of tabs is a customized WebView2 that acts as control element for the browsers. Browser core is a class that inherits from WebView2 and describes a customized implementation with its own event handlers method and properties. Let's take a look at the show permission dialog async method, which opens the permission dialog for websites. It's essentially a content dialog that includes a title, descriptive text, and font icon. I open dialog and wait for the user choice whether on the selection the web view receives either approval or rejection. Additionally, the permission manager service handles granting or denying permissions for the specific hosts. This event handler is used for custom handling of context menu invocation in web browser. The command bar layout control from WinUI library is used as a context menu if it's not initialized. Attached context menu method is called, which creates new browser context menu instance and assign it as a context menu of browser core control. Let's take a quick look at the implementation of context layout. I created this menu to look better than the default one in WebView 2. The built-in option didn't fit my design requirements, so I've had interest in my own implementation. A set data context is necessary because command bar layout in UWP does not support data context, making direct command binding impossible. To address this, the method iterates through primary comments and secondary comments, assigning the appropriate data context to each. This ensures that the buttons within the layout interact correctly with their respective comments and execute them in the correct context. The context menu receives data from Core WebView 2 via context-requested event args, which allows it to determine what elements the user has selected, for example, text, link, image, or editable area. Based on this, corresponding commands are enabled or disabled. Here, we can see the resource dictionary with browser menu. This menu contains various types of commands like go back, refresh, copy, paste, and another one. Using XAML to implement the context menu makes it easy to add and modify commands, as well as expand browser functionality. It's just much more convenient than the default approach provided by WebView 2. We have covered some things from browser core and looked at the custom implementation of the context menu. Now let's look at what the implementation of the tab view model looks like. Here, tab view item is a class that inherits from observable collection or object and implements a iTab interface. Each tab is created with multiple constructors, allowing flexible initialization, where the tab is generated from saved data, an archive or direct web link. The logic ensures smooth adaptation to different scenarios. The class tracks key states and dynamically updates the UI through property change notifications, ensuring that the tab's visual representation always matches its current status. Each tab is associated with a browser core instance, which provides quick access to the browser associated with the tab. The tab automatically syncs its web link, title, and some other things with the browser. Since internal browser pages like settings, home, and other implemented in XAML instead of typing web-like things, added the linked page property. This property links a native browser page to a specific tab, allowing seamless integration of non-web content within the tab structure. By linking this page directly to the tab, I ensure they can be accessed and controlled just like any web-based content. enhancing the flexibility and functionality of the browser. The tab supports various types of icons that are icon source, but for a more convenient implementation, it turns this icon into icon element to directly bind the icon to the tab view. I want to note that I use different approaches in different scenarios and don't always use icon element. In the UI, to implement the tabs, I used two main controls: tab view for classic tabs and list view for side tabs. Let's look at the example markup and see how it's done. As we can see, tab view is a control that is used from the Windows UI library. There is a binding to the main commands and to the tab collection from the view model. Well, we covered some of the source code related to tabs, and now we can move on this home page and its related functions. Let's take some look at the home screen, which is designed to offer you an intuitive, dynamic start to your browser experience. When you launch the browser, you start with a clean and minimal home page. If you want to personalize it, you can enable live wallpapers that add a touch of creativity and uniqueness. Whether you're into nature, cities, abstract art, the homepage offers an extensive library of high-quality live wallpapers, allowing you to create a visually stunning background whenever you open a new tab. To do this, just simply navigate to the homepage setting located in the lower right corner, and from there, choose the wallpaper you like to set. This process is quick and straightforward, allowing for a personalized touch to the homepage. Бывает такое. But the homepage isn't just about aesthetics, it's also designed to improve your productivity and browser convenience. It gives you quick access to the recent bookmarks, allowing you to jump back to the sites you use most often without wasting time searching. These bookmarks are customizable, ensuring that your most important sites are always at your fingertips. Together, this feature creates home screen that is not only visually beautiful and personalized, but also incredibly functional. You'll have everything you need at your fingertips, your recent visited sites, weather forecasts, and favorite websites. Now we can look at the example markup of the homepage itself and discuss how wallpapers work. Well, the homepage view serves as a UI layout for the homepage. Here, I want to focus on the container used to display the wallpaper, whereas the content control acts as the host of the media element, which is responsible for rendering the live wallpaper. Additionally, there is an image control which displays the static wallpaper or serves as a preview of the live wallpaper. Now, let's turn our attention to the Wallpaper Manager class and look at the method that creates a new media element on its initialization. The media element is initialized on the Wallpapers Manager service side, which avoids re-initializing the video wallpaper every time the home page is visited. This significantly speeds up the process of loading and displaying live wallpapers, since the element is already ready for use and does not require additional cost for its creation. Wallpaper Manager not only stores live wallpapers, but also manages their preview images for efficient display in the application. Its properties provide quick access to the wallpaper itself, the media element control, and the preview image. Load wallpaper async loads wallpaper from a file if it's downloaded or installed via settings. Then the preview and the wallpaper itself are initialized. Init folder async initializes a dedicated folder for storing wallpapers, keeping them separate from local application resources. Set wallpaper from web async is responsible for downloading and saving wallpapers from a web resource. I use the Vexel's Web API as a media library, providing access to a rich collection of images and videos in the method. I utilize download service to begin the wallpaper download via download file async, which returns a download operation. Then I store the file path in the settings for future use and subscribe to the arranges downloaded event. Additionally, I create store file object to represent the final wallpaper file and set up a preview of the wallpaper. Before the download is completed, I attempt to display the wallpaper directly from the web source. Once the download begins, I open the download dialog and display a notification. After the operation finishes, I call load wallpaper async to apply the wallpaper from the settings. For optimization reasons, the selection of wallpapers is filtered to enable only videos of average quality with a short duration. However, users can adjust the settings to request higher quality wallpapers if desired. We just explored some code related to live wallpapers, and now I'd like to shift focus on the how search functionality works and how it has been implemented. It is possible to quickly change search engines while working, just 2 clicks, and the search is performed through another service without going to the settings. This is convenient when you need to quickly compare the results of different search engines, or use a specific resource depending on the request. The ability to quickly switch between search engines is just one of the many ways Aurora seamless your web journey. It allows you to easily access different sources of information without interrupting your workflow, giving you more control over how you search and interact with the web. This flexibility makes it easier to find what you need when you need it. Now, let's return to Visual Studio to see how the search is implemented. The search architecture is quite simple and is based on the main search service and search providers. The main task of the search service is to manage the interaction between providers and distribute the data they provide. In turn, providers are responsible for performing searches in repositories and passing filtered results to the search stack. A large advantage of the search system is its extensibility. To add a new search provider, it is enough to implement the iSearch provider interface and configure the receiving and filtering of data. This allows you to easily adapt the search to various data sources, be it files, web resources, or internal application syncs. Here I can highlight the search async method, which requests data from search providers that can handle their current request. When the search async method invoking, it first ensures the query is valid, rejecting any null or empty values. This method then iterates through the registered providers to check if they can process the query and search type. For each provider capable of handling the search, the method asynchronously fetches the results and collects them into a list. All found objects are cast to the command iSearchable interface, which provides a uniform approach to processing search results. This simplifies working with data regardless of its type and origin. Let's take a closer look at how the web search provider is implemented. To get search predictions, the web search provider uses the search prediction service, which sends a request to defined API endpoint. This allows the provider to quickly receive relevant suggestions as the user types. When the user inputs a query, the provider calls the service via HTTP request, which fetches predictions as a JSON data and returns them to be displayed as a suggestions. A supported types property defines the search types that the provider can handle, while the isEnable property indicates whether the provider is active. A ConSearch method checks the provider can process given request type, returning true if supported or false otherwise. Finally, search sync task sends a request to the search suggestion service, processes the received response, and then initializes an enumeration of search view objects. Each contains a searchable data. This enumeration is returned as a result, providing a structured view of the search suggestions for display in the application. Next, we'll go to the search class is used to display the results, which can be integrated into any UI collection. It provides a convenient presentation of the found items and allows user to quickly interact with the results. Here we can see the properties used for data binding, which are essential for linking the UI with the underlying data in XAML data template. Let's see how it's implemented in the UI. To display the search results in the app UI, I used the teach and keep control from the WinUI library. This element is ideal for creating a flyout that can be tied to a search bar or button, which allows you to show the result immediately after the result is executed. Due to the smooth animation of the exposure, the flyout looks dynamic, which improves perception and makes the interaction with the application more intuitive. To give users the opportunity to switch between search types, I added segmented control to the flyout context. Well, segmented control does not support scroll bars on this. That's because I put in a scroll viewer to fit all segment section and provide scrolling support. The segmented control element was taken from the Windows Community Toolkit library. This provides an additional set of control elements. If you scroll down, you'll see the grid container, which displays the best match for the search query. This match appears as soon as the user starts typing in the search bar. As the user types, the container updates in real time and the layout with the result opens automatically, showing the most relevant information right away. The list view here is used to display the search result and it's connected to observable collections that update in the search bar create changes. We have covered key aspects of search implementation, from the architecture and interaction of search services and providers to displaying results in the user interface. The flexibility and extensibility of the system allow it to be easily adapted to different data sources, ensuring convenience and speed of work. Now we covered a couple of features. Let's now take a look at the more modern capabilities that the browser offers using AI. Most of AI feature in my project is powered by OpenAI and large language models that provide real-time relevant answers. It's perfect when you need quick clarification or additional context without interrupting your flow of browsing. Now, let's imagine that you always have someone at hand who can help you with something or answer any of your questions at any time convenient for you. I am pleased to present you with a solution that would allow you to get a personal assistant who is ready to answer any questions and help you solve problems in any time. Today, it's a reality. Meet an assistant who's always nearby. Hello, Aurora. Shortly introduce yourself.
Hello there. I'm Aurora, your friendly virtual assistant powered by artificial intelligence. I'm here to help you with any questions you have, such as searching the web for information or finding music on Spotify. Just ask, and I'll do my best to assist you.
As we can see, I have implemented speech synthesis for the AI assistant. I have also integrated the assistant at a basic level of quick answers. For example, we can see ask about something from the WinUI documentation. Thanks.
Thank you for your kindness and generosity. You are a very wonderful person, and I am happy to know you. Smiling face with smiling eyes.
However, it's important to mention that most features are currently in beta. While most functions are working smoothly, there may be occasional glitches or limitations as I continue refining and enhancing them. But the future potential of AI-driven browsing is clear, and we're excited to see how these capabilities evolve over time. Now, let's see how I implement AI orchestration in my project. Here is sendPromptSync method and assistant class. sendPromptSync is used to send prompt to the assistant and return a series of chat messages as responses. This method handles the communication process by first interacting with Dialogflow to process the prompt, determining the necessary action based on the response. Then the method iterates through each of the providers and delegates the query to the appropriate one if it can handle the action. The results are returned as a collection of objects implementing the iChat message interface. For a quick understanding how providers work, let's take a closer look at the GPT provider implementation. The GPT provider acts as service provider by integrating core functionalities to send requests to the OpenAI API, process responses, and deliver results that can seamlessly be incorporated into the conversation flow. While the Azure library from Microsoft is used to manage requests and responses between the GPT models and OpenAI, the actual API calls are directed to OpenAI endpoints. The can-execute method checks if the provider supports a given action by comparing without case sensitivity to predefined actions. The provider activates only when it can handle the current query action. Finally, sendPromptSync, a method sends a prompt to the GPT service. It validates the prompt, processes it, and any available conversation history, and then calls the GPT service to retrieve a response. In conclusion, we can summarize that the project is actively developing towards improving functionality, integration with AI, enhancing search capabilities, and improving data privacy. I focused on the creating flexible and expandable feature that can adapt to user needs, offering an intuitive interface and high performance. Additionally, I have plans to integrate semantic kernel for the AI assistant, with the goal of passing the context of web pages and enable deeper integration into various parts of the web browser. This will allow the AI assistant to provide more relevant and context-aware interactions across the browser, improving user experience. Now, I want to thank you for your all attention, as well as everyone watching us.
Yeah, that was great showcase, great features you implemented. Looking forward to see how your app will grow. Okay, let's move forward. We have a couple of questions left before our last section. I see folks in the live chat mentioned how your application looks. What is your process for designing WinUI application?
When designing a WinUI application, my process begins with understanding the core goals and features of the product. For Aurora, I wanted to combine the best elements from various browsers to create something unique. I drew inspiration from a variety of sources, including Microsoft Edge, Apple Safari, and Arc browser. Each of these browsers has certain features or design elements that I admire and wanted to take the best aspects of each to create a browser that is user-friendly, efficient, and modern. For example, I wanted to keep the clean, intuitive design of Safari and the focus on simplicity, while adding some of the more modern features of Arc browsers, such as the tab management system. Microsoft Edge gave me inspiration for integrating seamlessly with the Windows ecosystem. As a tool for design, I was using Figma to create mockups and visual designs. Additionally, I utilized the WinUI design toolkit to ensure that my design adhered to best practices for building modern and responsive apps on the Windows platform.
Good advice. Thank you. What problems did you face during the development process?
There are some challenges I encountered with the speech recognition implementation. Initially, I used the speech recognizers, but it supports only a limited number of languages. To address this, I switched to the Windows Voice Dubbing dialog, which utilizes Azure Speech Services and offers better language support. I also faced difficulties with WebView 2, particularly with clipboard functionality, since WebView 2 doesn't allow direct access to clipboard content via JavaScript. I had to implement custom clipboard handling to simulate the Ctrl+VK press for text pathing. Additionally, I noticed an issue where the last copied item does not display correctly in the Windows clipboard history. Lastly, WebView 2 lacks printing support in Universal Windows Platform application, so I had to implement custom printing functionality using the Windows printing APIs to provide this feature in the application.
I'm glad you overcome that. But what's the challenges do you face now?
Currently, I am focusing on adding extension support to the browser, which is crucial for expanding its functionality. I'm researching the best approaches for interacting extensions and plan to include the feature in upcoming updates. Since Aurora uses the WebView 2 control, which doesn't support Chrome or Edge extension stores, I'm working on developing a custom implementation to enable extensions while maintaining compatibility with the browser. Additionally, WebView 2 doesn't provide native support for handle extension pop-ups, so exploring the possibility of rendering extension pop-ups by injecting them directly into the document object model using JavaScript. This will simulate the appearance and functionality of an extensions pop-up.
I hope you'll figure this out. And last but not least, what's your plans for improving Aurora?
In the upcoming updates, I will focus on expanding the browser's capabilities, enhancing its usability, flexibility, and overall stability. We're also addressing exciting bugs. Key features will include voice control, allowing users to navigate web pages, access search, manage tabs, and execute commands without the need for a keyboard or mouse. I will also introduce a split view features, enabling users to work with multiple web pages or services within a single window, improving multitasking. Additionally, multiple accounts support will be added, allowing users to seamlessly switch between work and personal profiles without logging in and out repeatedly. Personalization will be a key area with advanced customization options such as flexible interface settings, support for different design themes, and the ability to create separate browsing environments tailored to specific user scenarios. In my opinion, these updates will significantly improve the browser performance, providing users with a more intuitive, efficient, and personalized browser experience.
Great. I wish you luck with your plans, and we are moving forward. I want to mention the chance to join our next community call like Dmitry just did for us. If you have a Windows app or library you built as a hobby or individual developer, find me on Discord. All right, so we're now moving into a Q&A segment. We're excited to hear your questions, so please go ahead and type them into the chat if not yet. While we are collecting your queries, I'd like to remind everyone about the feedback form we have available. Your insights and suggestions are incredibly valuable for us, and they help us make this session even more beneficial for you. We also have ongoing discussions on community-driven Windows App Discord server. You can join it after this call and continue your engagement, discuss today's topic, and connect with fellow developers. Okay, I see we have a couple of questions. maybe let's start with the easy one. Like,
Oh, yeah, dark mode. I see. Yeah, dark mode is fully supported inside my browser, and I can introduce it right now if I can do this. No, can I
you can share.
enable the presentation?
Yeah, you can show your screen.
Here is.
And does your app have localization support, like different languages?
Yeah, I implemented localization via Microsoft Translator, but at the time, my browser support only three languages. It's Russian, Ukrainian, and English. In the future, I will plan to increase this number of languages.
Okay. Two questions for you. Is this a personal challenge, or do you want to be competitive browser? And how do you plan to monetize your work?
Yeah, at the time in my project, I use a subscription plan for AI features, but yeah, I currently monetizing my work. Yeah, it's some commercial, just little commercial project, если это можно так назвать.
I heard you like already have paid users, right?
Yes, already have.
Okay. Does your code base have unit tests?
For this project, I don't use unit tests because I don't see the. Сейчас, секунду.
Yeah, you can prepare your answer, so I will look for another one.
For this project, I don't see the need for the unit tests. Just
Yeah. Somebody answered
at
you.
this time,
Yeah.
just at this time, but can be added in the future.
Yeah, I guess when you app will grow, like get bigger.
Yeah.
It definitely. I see someone already answered you. Like unit tests are good for preventing regressions. So if like
Yeah,
when
I
you do a new
understand.
feature, yeah. Okay. Did you decide you would take to make your own tab view early, so on? Sorry, complex question.
If you have complex question, you can ask me in the Discord. I answer on this via translator because I don't really good English speaker. You can not understand everything what you type in here.
Человек спрашивает, ты сразу понял, что свой какой-то таб-вью будешь делать для поддержки вертикальных табов? Или потом понял при разработке?
No. Top view I using only for vertical tabs. List view I use for top view I using for horizontal tabs. List view I using for vertical tabs. It's two different controls. Just top view is a control from WinUI library. List view is a default universal Windows platform control, but with WinUI theming, and it's just two different controls. It's not my own control because I don't need this. I have
Okay.
my own custom data template for this, for tabs to display the icons, the custom icons inside the tab, or some buttons. It's everything what I need.
Question about WinUI 3. Have you used WinUI 3? And if so, are things from WinUI 3 what you couldn't use in UWP? What did you do to overcome that obstacle, if there was? Ну, собственно, ты вообще использовал ли ты WinUI 3? И если использовал, что из WinUI 3 ты не можешь использовать в UWP? Такой вопрос.
Right now, I can't use WinUI 3 because WinUI 3 don't support on Xbox or Windows HoloLens, because right now I have plans to continue support these devices. But I have some tests WinUI 3, but right now don't use WinUI 3 in any type of my projects.
Okay, folks, more questions? Okay, Dmitry, I think you can say your final words.
I would like to thank you to everyone for great questions and your interest in my project, as well as for being on the live stream. If you have any more questions or want to dive deeper into any of the features discussed, feel free to reach out to me on Discord or X. I'm always happy to chat and hear your minds. See you there, and bye.
Thanks a lot. To revisit today's session or catch up on past discussions, check out our playlist, which covers this and previous episodes. Stay tuned for our next call, scheduled in probably May, and follow us on our social networks to receive the latest updates. Okay, that's all time we have. Thank you all for your thoughtful questions and contributions today. If there are any unanswered questions, we encourage you to join the conversation on Discord, and we'll do our best to address them there. Have a fantastic day and happy coding!